What's up, kids? I'm back again. Today, I want to get on a little bit of motivation. Different things motivate different people, and I understand that. I don't expect the things that drive me to drive somebody else. Everybody has to have their own motivations, and what a good part of that is taking a look at yourself and realizing what is your motivation. What is the one thing that you want out of life that that you got to work for? If you're the kind of person where you're very content just living blah and just going through the motions every day, hey, that's cool. Well, that's well and good, but I was like that too. I was going through the motions every single day, and every day was exactly like the day before. And it got me to the point where I was just miserable, and everything I did was all right. There's no point to my daily activities. There was no point in waking up in the morning. There was no point to me, getting up and turning on the TV and just going through another Law and Order marathon or a House marathon or SmackDown versus Raw. Every day was just the same, and that got me very, very miserable, and got me to a point to where I wasn't happy, and I wasn't happy with myself. So for me, I think my biggest motivator was going to the doctor, and the doctor telling me if you don't start changing your lifestyle, you're going to be dead soon, and I don't want to die. Again, I know a lot of what I'm saying right now I've said in other videos, and I'm repeating myself, but you know what, it's the truth, and this is what maybe people need to hear, and you need that plug, and you need to constantly get that reinforcement behind them that that they may be in the same rut, and they may have not reached rock bottom yet, but there's no reason to wait till you hit rock bottom. You don't have to hit rock bottom to decide that it's time to change. And I want people to realize that. I want more than nothing else to have to reach people. And that's my goal, is to reach people with these videos. And I want to know that I'm not doing this just for myself. Even though, don't get me wrong, it's a great motivator for me. I'm just getting on camera and talking for me is good, because it makes me, that's a reinforcement for myself, makes it feel like I'm accomplishing something, and and going to the park and working out at home and doing my videos, and the biggest point I want to drive home to people is that you don't need to hit rock bottom to make a change. You don't need a personal trainer. You don't need a gym. All you have to do is want to be better and want to better yourself. Everybody, I hear all the time that, people making excuses why I can't walk down the park, why I can't, change my diet. Well, there's no reason why you can't change your diet. Oh, well, I like my potato chips. I like that. You know what? It's all well and good. You can't. I would never say that you can't eat all that stuff. And I'm the last person to be preaching, but at the same time, I feel that if I am the one preaching, that that's not Mr. Olympian preaching to you. That's not Bob from Biggest Loser preaching, or Jill, or whoever if you watch that show, or You know, it's not, you know, it's not a guy with a fucking six-pack preaching to you that, you know, I can tell you, do it, you can do it, you know, look at me. You know, because a lot of times you get frustrated that, you know, this guy is at the six-pack, or this guy with the perfect physique, or, you know, or you feel like they have the perfect, they don't relate to me. You know, that's why I feel like I can do this, because I feel like I can relate to other people. I can relate to the lovable loser. You know, because I felt like I have been the lovable loser. You know, I mean, you got to the point. I don't know. I'm losing my thoughts right now. You know, they're kind of escaping me, and you know, I'm just going on. You got to realize that eventually it's time to put down the potato chips. It's time to put down the ice cream. You know, indulging in all those things. You know, you feel like, oh, it's good, but if you're not healthy, and you know, if you get to the point where, okay, well, I can treat myself to that once a week, then that's cool. You know, if you realize that that's what you need to do. But you know, every day with the chips, and every single day with cookies and ice cream and cakes and candy, regardless if it's fat-free, regardless if it's low sugar, you know, that mentality is going to keep you where you are. You know, just because something is low sodium or low sugar or fat-free or light doesn't change the fact that it's horrible for you. It doesn't change the fact that if you eat it every single day, you're going to stay fat. You know, you can get a can of Ready Whip. Just because it's Ready Whip Light, it doesn't mean eat the whole damn can at one time, because that's not helping you. You know, just because it says light on it doesn't mean it's good for you. It's not good for you. That's the shit that these marketing people, you know, do to confuse you and think that it's all well and good. Just because you think you know what you're talking about, half the times you really don't. And, you know, I don't know, I'm going off on a rant. I don't want people to take me the wrong way or take me negative. You know, I just get frustrated with myself, and you know, I'm happy right now that I'm going in the right direction. But I get frustrated with the people who talk to me and they tell me that, you know, they eat this stuff, you know. Nothing beats diet and exercise. There is no miracle cure. There is no magic pill. There is no magic powder that's going to fix you. The only thing you can do is get your ass up off the couch. Put the 360 remote down. Put the PlayStation 3 remote down for an hour. And just do it. Give it an hour, and I guarantee you feel better about yourself. This is Anthony, signing off. Let's get there.